Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another SoyBomb Live. It is what? Oh, it is Friday. You know what Fridays are? Well, currently, they are Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney streams. So let's do that now. Let's waste no time and get right into it. So, Inu is here. Who knows who else will show up? That's loud for me. Okay. Hi, Evie. How's it going? How are you folks today? I'm just gonna a little bit. So we have another trial, and I don't know how this trial is gonna go. I've got a cup of tea in a wonderful mug. I am ready to rumble. So, what do you think, Mr. Wright? Hello, Nick. Nick the DVD man. Nick the Final Fantasy man. I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. After all, the victim was murdered in 2 different places at the same time. And a different suspect was arrested at each of the crime scenes. Lana Banana. Hello, Sushi Sunshine. 2000. Now see, the 2000 is the old model. You want to get yourself the 3000. What's going on? Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed. Hope I didn't hold you too long for questioning. We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though. So how'd it go? It's as Mr. Wright suspects. The police are clueless. I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain. A plea bargain? What do you mean by that? We agreed that if I told them the truth behind this simultaneous murder, they wouldn't seek capital punishment. That's what I mean, Ema. But Lana, don't tell me you... Much to my regret, I'm as much in the dark about this as they are. This guy. We found trace evidence of a certain person in the police department's evidence room. They belong to Officer Jake Marshall. What kind of trace evidence? Blood-stained fingerprints, to be exact. That's the trump card I have up my sleeve today. That's the worst kind of card. You do understand what this means, don't you? In order to defend my sister, you're going to accuse Mr. Marshall? We have to play the cards we're dealt. Isn't that right, Ms. Sky? Do what you have to do, Mr. Wright. Okay, well, let's see. Let's see what we got here. I have no clue how this case is going to go, but I don't like this one. Too much mystery involved. Court is now in session for the trial of Ms. Lana Sky. The Honorable, Dishonorable Judge Old Man Draven presiding. Hello, Attack. How's it going? It's a cat in a box. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is... I'm afraid you'll have to clarify. It takes 30 minutes by car to reach the police department from the prosecutor's office. Yet the victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain at both places at the same time. But that's not physically possible, is it? What's more, I hear the victim from the evidence room just disappeared. Yes, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Wow, this is one messed up trial. Boy, I'll say. It's going fine, but you had a migraine today. Oh, gosh. Been there. Don't want to do that. One of my duties as prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today I will present evidence relating to the murder at the police department. In so doing, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself. That's what sets Mr. Edgeworth apart. He sounds so on top of things, even though he doesn't know what's going on himself. Yeah, attack needs to get well. That's supposed to be an admirable trait. Alright. Very well, let the trial resume. Soy, which game show will I be watching on Sunday? The answer is... none. I have an event scheduled, like a stream event scheduled for Sunday. However, if I fall behind on my video editing work, I will not be doing it. However, if I am productive over the next couple of days, then I will do it. But it is a game that could make me cry. Alright. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Wait, are we not, oh, wait, we have to call a witness. I see, yeah. I am definitely doing one tomorrow where we play Turtles in Time. That is happening. That is going to happen no matter what. However, Sunday is up in the air. I hope to do it Sunday. You know what? I'm a productive guy. I think I can do this. Game show streams were fun, but I guess I need to take my break. Yeah, actually the last one was the least viewed one, so maybe people aren't quite as excited about it. Turtles in Time, yeah. I think I'm going to play both versions, actually. So we're calling the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department. Okay. A suspect? You mean the so-called murderer? Oh no. No! No! Don't, not Meekins. No! 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 Talk about is very underrated. Will the witness please state his name and occupation? Yes, sir! I am Officer Mike Meekins, sir! My occupation is, that would be murderer, sir! We've heard a lot of Ace Attorney. Is it worth playing? Yes, it is. It's probably the most thought-provoking visual novel you'll ever play. So you're telling us you're a professional killer? Sir, it was me, sir. I'm the one who did it. I had wanted to play Ace Attorney for a long time, but only recently did I buy it. I'll never kill anyone again, sir. You've got to believe me, sir. Actually, what we'd like to hear from you is, sir, I'm what you would call part of the younger generation, sir. It's on Game Boy Advance, it's on DS, it's probably on mobile. It's on the Switch here. It's on Steam. You can get this on Steam if you'd rather. A person whose actions adults can't possibly comprehend. Please, Mr. Edgeworth, sir, help me, sir. Officer Meekins. Yes, sir. Give us your report of the crime. Consider that in order. Yes, sir, as you wish. It was originally on the Game Boy Advance. The DS game is a port. Anyway, after all, I am part of a generation that must be told what to do, sir. And then they added more games to the DS, so I guess it's kind of ports and new games. You can't fault him for a lack of enthusiasm. Alright, crime report. Sir. Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. And Soy says it's technically correct. You know what? I'm gonna win on a technicality. Hello, escape route. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life, and then I did it. After that, I passed out. Until another officer smacked me awake. Smacked you awake? If you were bloodied, Officer Marshall could have slapped you awake and gotten blood on his hand and then put it on... Oh, dang. So the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you? ERB has been streaming a Captain Tsubasa soccer game. Yes. Yes, he has. And now he knows more about soccer than I do. Do unto others before they do unto you. That's the Meekins family motto, sir. I see. When you fainted and a colleague helped you regain consciousness. Yes, sir, he knocked me upside the head, sir. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. What I need here is more info to work with. No kidding. Alright, so we're gonna grill Officer Stinkins here. Hold it! Mr. Meekins, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you not? Yes, sir! I'm in charge of hiring new recruits, sir! Evidence transferal was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed. I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir! The Blue Badger? Yes, sir. The lovely police mascot created by the Chief of Detectives, sir. This ugly thing. I was to ensure it wasn't broken during the transferal process. That was my sole mission for the day, sir. My goodness. I see. Sounds like a very, important mission. Yep. After the awards ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around that I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. I thought that this guy was just gonna be like a one-off character I'd never see again. I made that mistake. Now I have to do that voice. I think they just call him the pimply-faced kid. Oh, your taco fell in the fryer, mister. I'll get it out for you. Ow! 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 That guy? Yeah. Oh, so that's why you went to the evidence room. Tell us, what did you see when you got there? The officer must be a far relative with a bushy brow. Oh gosh. Suspicious man. Hey, Mats, how's it going? Was he technically nameless? I think he may have eventually picked up a name, but I don't know his name. I think they just call him the pimply-faced kid. In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card, am I correct? Precisely, sir. I have one right here around my neck. So then, your ID number should be listed on here, right? There it is! I found it! This is the one right here. Could you please read us the number? Yes, sir, it's 4989596. That's my number, sir. Pimply-faced Meekins. There we go. See, huh? The number 4989596 is shown as being used twice. Please explain, witness. It's no real mystery, sir. The first time is when I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. And the second time is when I went to go get him after everything settled down. I see, so it was during that second time when... Yes, sir, that was when I spotted the man on the security system. Okay. Who attacked you, man? So you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you? It was a knife, sir! A knife! Detective Goodman pulled a knife on you. What happened then? Well, with me charging in on him like that, he looked as surprised as I was. That's when I reacted, sir. I swung my arms like an octopus, struggling to detain him. That's how I got this gash on my hand. Maybe if you just kept your your hand wouldn't be. Anyway, when I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar. I did it. What'd you do? What exactly do you mean when you say you did it? I know I don't look the type, but I'm really into kung fu films, sir. The man let his guard down for just an instant, so I snatched his knife from him. You took his knife? I spun him around and performed a disarming maneuver. You know what I mean? I made sure to close my eyes like a man. I see. The next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of my blood, and then the next thing I knew... Yes? He punched me right in my face, sir! Okay. About what time did you regain consciousness? No offense, sir, but how am I supposed to know that? I was unconscious. Oh, right. According to the report from the officer that woke up, the witness, it was about 5:30. He hit me right in the head, too. I woke up crying tears of pain. That's nice. Or, I mean, it's nice that you recovered, that is. Oh. When I came around, though, I made sure to finish my mission, sir. Your mission? SoyBomb, the Fall Guys are getting a Season 2. Perhaps it would be a great time to play it again. Sure. We'll get all 4 of us together for a wacky Fall Guys adventure. Yes, sir. The Blue Badger, sir. I returned him to the entrance before things got out of hand. I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened. I know, Escape Room, that seems kind of weird. Didn't Fall Guys just come out, like, this month? Or maybe last month? Yes, Your Honor. Only one thing remains unclear. Was the man this officer murdered really the victim? Yes, Officer Meekins. With regard to that, sir, take a look at this. It was sent to my jail cell. Chief Gant delivered it to me just this morning, sir. I want to see more of Chief Gant so that I can do that accent. The chief delivered it. What is that? A videotape? Yes, sir. That's absolutely right, sir. A videotape, sir. Oh, yes, sir. It contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room.
Objection!
What? I specifically asked if there was such a tape. I was told it had been mistakenly erased. That's quite a mistake. I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at. Well then, let's have a look. Show us the video of you murdering the victim. Devolver gave them carte blanche? Okay. Oh, stop using that word murder, sir. It scares me. Are we gonna see a murder video? Wait. Oh, darn. I can't. Oh, this isn't an actual tape. I can't go back. I'm like, I want to see something. Oh, we can't see the face. Monthly seasons? Wow, these are quite the seasons. Oh, you know, if that blue badger wasn't in the way. Now see, here's the weird thing about that. Nobody left. Nobody left. Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us? What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood? Sir, that is the pride and joy of the entire criminal affairs department, sir. It's the Blue Badger, sir. I agree. plywood. Okay, so we got the video. Yes, well, anyway. This tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter, someone in the evidence room, and some sort of, activity did take place. Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that alright with you, Officer Meekins? Yes, sir, as you wish, sir. Tell me more. His face can't be seen, clearly seen in the video, but there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do. Unless he took a finger. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it. What's this about a fingerprint? Each detective has been given a locker equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to. Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have to have been Detective Goodman. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. Contradictions, indeed. Well, let's see what we can do here. So, step 1. His face can't be clearly seen in the video. Tell me, were you able to get a good look at him? At the face of the man who attacked you with a knife? So, sir, if you must label people as having seen or not seen the man's face, I believe I would be classified as the latter? Well, you were standing right in front of him, were you not? More to the point, you are the person who fought him, aren't you? Oh, yes, sir, but I didn't get a clear look at his face, sir. I'm not the kind of guy who looks directly at people when they're talking with them, you see. Still, I'm sure it was him. I'd bet my badge on it. Well, you don't know that for sure, do you? You never actually saw Detective Goodman's face. Well, I suppose you might say that. That is, if you must label people as having seen or not seen it. Since his face can't be identified in the video, only you can verify it. Amora has seen something. But for the life of me, I don't know what it is. Amora, what is, I don't know. Anyway, why is everyone looking at me? If I had to label your stares as disturbing or... Meekins. Having been shown a questionable video at best, we are not in the best of moods. Now, please be more certain when you testify. Yes, sir. You claim the man who brandished the knife on you was Bruce Goodman. Tell us why you are positive it was him. Okay, that's a good piece of evidence right there. About these lockers, is there no other way to open them? No, sir. I myself tried all kinds of methods in the past. They only respond to registered fingerprints, sir. The man opened the locker's lock, which only responds to its registered fingerprints. And he must be the person the locker was assigned to. Exactly my point, sir. And this too. How do you know that information? I've heard rumors, sir, from people in the know, sir. People in the know. The workers at the department cafeteria, sir. They keep me informed. They also listen to my romantic troubles, sir. Oh, mercy. No. I do not want those troubles. For the record, the open locker did indeed belong to Detective Goodman. I verified this information through a more reliable source. So the victim opened the locker with his own fingerprint. Yes. Great. So we know this. So no one else could have unlocked it. Unless he's like a conjoined twin or something. However, the most important detail is not shown in this video, the man's face. Sir, if I may say something, sir. Please do. After all, you are the one being examined. I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock. Well, you're right about that. It was his hand that tried to thrust this knife into my body, sir. My unsettled state can testify enough to this, sir. I like how the tape still has the Japanese writing on it. It's great. Yes, you have a point. The footage doesn't lie. That is, unless the defense can find a problem with it. Mr. Wright, let's check the court record again. Is there a problem with the security video? Well, before I make that decision, let me look at all the evidence that I have here. Well, there is, in that the other guy, where did he go? He didn't leave. Is there a problem with the video? Well, yeah, there is. The problem being, where did the other guy, where did Goodman go? That is kind of a thing. So I'm gonna say, yeah, there's a problem. Regarding the video contained on this tape, there's one thing in particular that seems rather strange. Strange? This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not have been Detective Goodman. What? This video contains such a contradiction?
Objection!
Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth? I propose we have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video. Oh, I should have thought of this first. Alright, I'm going back in first. It's too bad, can I, like, watch the video before I do this? Too bad I can't forward it. So, a guy comes in. Opens up the locker, drops something out for some reason. Meekins kind of sneaks in. Struggle here. That is my only question. Like, where did the detective go? It seems odd. Very well. Proposal accepted. Let's further inspect this piece of evidence. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us this contradiction you speak of. Oh, gosh. I want to be sure about this. There's a lot of stuff here. Now, one thing I noticed... Wait. That thing that... Hold on. Before I'm going to look at it one more time. I know. It's annoying. I want to see the thing that falls out of that... Whoops. I want to see that thing that falls out of the locker. Because what fell out of the lock... Like, there was a vase. And I think a glove. But I want to see what falls out of this locker here. Because I don't think... Well, a vase didn't fall out of it. Okay, a glove fell out. A glove fell out, but where'd the vase come from? Do I have to watch really closely for this? Stab. I don't know. What else is wrong with the video? Aside from the fact that the detective never left. And there was no vase. The answer's in the court record. Okay. I don't know why I have this. It's not very useful. Let's take the extremely thin rubber glove. This fell out. Scene of the stabbing. Well, why don't I take a look? Now... Okay. The answer's in my heart. I don't know, it's probably in an escape route's heart, more likely. You get to scroll through the video, so hopefully you'll notice the contradiction. I'm probably going to be asking sooner than I think. Hold on. Something just kind of struck me. No, it didn't strike me. It doesn't strike me anymore. The answer is in all of our hearts. Hello, Draven. How's it going? I was hoping you would pop by. What knife actually got used? $221. Yeah, I mean that's. Well, all right. You know what? Let's just roll with it, and if I don't figure it out, I have to point out a problem in the video. It's the first time I've ever had to do that. You can do it, Mr. Wright. It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video. Take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing. You got it. Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching this video. Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where is the contradiction that indicates the man may not be Detective Goodman? Well... it was actually the Blue Badger. Oh, B pauses. Okay. So... just gonna look at him right here. Looks okay. Prove it's not Goodman. Well... prove it's not Goodman. Okay. So I'm gonna... fast forward. I mean, that's it. So if I fast forward, well, he's gone now in his entirety. So there's got to be something that proves that he is not. Take that, Meekins. Now, so you've been here since the start, but you were taking laundry in. I see how it is. Okay. Well, how did Goodman's shoe at the one crime scene have Goodman's blood and here? Anyway, it's so confusing. Maybe there are two Bruce Goodmans. Maybe he used the screwdriver to get in. Check this again. That doesn't give me anything of, like, interest. Ooh, there's gotta be something that I'm missing. So the glove fell out. This jar here. This jar here that I put together, I didn't even see that anywhere. Where'd that come from? But I want a clue. Wait. Back. Go back. Okay, it did light up. All right. I want a mild clue. Mild. So it did light up, so that was his fingerprint. Although, how it... Wait! Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait, it's already lit up. Why is it already lit up? Something's up here. Oh, okay. I'm gonna pause here. Take that! Oh. The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this! Officer Meekins. Sir, do you mean me, sir? As I understand it, the locker apparatus works like this. When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint. If it's a match, the light turns on and the lock is released. Now answer how. Bruce Goodman is a twin. I don't know. We'll figure that out. According to my very limited experience, that's the way. I understand it, sir. If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture. I saw it. Man, the DS was really good. When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker, let's rewind a little earlier. How did it happen? Faulty technology. Windows 10 update. Here, notice the light? What's this? It's already lit. Precisely my point, Your Honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle. Oh! Did I hear a chicken? Order! Order! What's the meaning of this? It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime.
Objection!
The locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When the door is shut, a sensor is triggered, and the locker is automatically locked. Oh, I know, it must have broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this. I don't even know what a CD is. Windows updates used to be so bad, but now they're just bad. It's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction. Oh well, this goes to show novices should keep their mouths shut. Oh, Judge Old Man Draven. Then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation? Me, Your Honor? Yes. Why wasn't the locker locked? Me, Your Honor? Yes, well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Ms. Scientific Investigator? Huh? Oh, maybe something like jam the system sensor. Something jam the sensor, like that glove that fell out. Something else that seems out of place in this video. I'm just worried that I'll never get to use my audio again if I do a Windows update. Oh, there's something else on the videotape. There's got to be another clue somewhere in this footage. Very well. Let's inspect the video once more. The locker wasn't locked, Mr. Wright. Please point out the cause for this. Well... Isn't it annoying how, even though I fast forward, that annoying music still plays at the same speed? Oh, darn. Oh, hold on. Let's back up the tape here.
Take that!
Please watch closely. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier. Glad they're not playing the music again. You'll one day install some sort of external battery for your PC in case electricity goes down. Yeah. What's this? Something white fell out of the locker. But sir, it's been my experience that things fall out when doors are opened. I often fall out and roll great distances when I open my car. What? We can't be sure that item was completely inside the locker to begin with. What do you mean? The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door? Inserted? It was what? It was what? Inserted? The culprit is a jackal. Hey there, DK. How's it going? How's it going, little buddy? It's a jackal. This judge is not very smart if he doesn't know what inserted means. Inserted? This white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor. Oh, I understand now, sir. It's just like my tie. 2 out of 3 times it gets stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir. Instead of the door closing, my tie chokes me. The object would have to be extremely thin to fit in the door. I did not move to the next text box. It just did that on its own. Not only that, it would also have to block electrical currents. Now, hold on a second. Rubber. It would need to be an insulator. Yes, an insulator. But at the crime scene, there just might have been something that fits the description. But sir, by insulator, you don't mean... Very well. Defense, please present the relevant evidence. What was this insulator that was stuck in the locker door? Why, it was none other than... possibly an unstable jar. Not a screwdriver.
Take that!
Behold, this was stuck in the locker door. How about sticking yourself in instead? Huh? Your presence here is wearing thin. You might just fit. Oh, maybe it wasn't that. If you have time to think of snarky comebacks, you have time to think it through again. Something thin enough to slip into the door crack yet not conducted to electricity. Well, I failed that. Will the defense please present the actual relevant evidence? Okay, I was just messing with you there, Judge. You know. Well, probably this.
Take that!
I was just kidding with you, old Judgy. I found this near the locker, a thin rubber glove. But we can't be sure that was in the victim's locker. It has a tag that says SL9 incident. They didn't take my crap and just insulted me. Sounds good. The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker, but that isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. So you are guilty! Phoenix, right? Is this not so, Officer Meekins? Sir! It would appear so, sir! Look on! The judge would adjust to something like, I don't see how this is relevant. And I'm gonna take points away from you. Order! 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 I want another caviar lunch. So are we to believe then that the victim, whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room, was not Detective Goodman?
Objection!
Do not be misled, Your Honor. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? The defense has merely demonstrated that possibility and nothing more. This case was written after all 3 games. But still written by the same person, so I was happy to hear that, actually. I thought it was written by other people. No. This was written by the same person that wrote the first 4 cases. So, it's okay. The victim in the video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this. What? Officer Meekins, please testify about this. Sir, me, sir? Oh, that silly old judge, eh? He's trouble. I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. Oh, you mean that, sir? Of course, sir. Very well, begin your testimony. Mystery Man. It's one of the things that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. Well, yeah, okay. An ID card record. I see. I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. The ID used at 5:14 is that of the victim. Just before the crime, Yes, without a doubt, this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transferal. Why were there so few people using this room? Oh, Judge, interesting. This particular evidence room is only used for storing special certain cases. Special cases? Extremely violent cases involving police staff. Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end. There were only a few cases up for transferal there, and most were cleared up by noon. Right. I see. Now let us move on to the cross-examination. Now, something was up. Because the ID was also found in the parking garage. So unlike your earlier testimony, you believe this to be rock solid, do you? Yes, sir. Solid as stone, sir. If my hand wasn't wrapped in bandages, I'd even get the V for victory sign. Sir, couldn't he just use his right hand for that? Let's hear him out fully. As we've seen, one never knows what he might say until the very last second. Is that card hanging from your neck one of these ID cards? Yes, sir. This card right next to my cuff, sir. I keep it here so I won't ever forget it. But what if someone were to steal it from you, keeping it out in the open like that? Maybe I shouldn't wear it out around my neck. Remember when I said 2 out of 3 times my tie gets stuck when I get out of my car? Well, the remaining time is my ID card that gets stuck. Instead of the door closing, my ID card chokes me. Oh my goodness. I hope that he's off the stand soon so I don't have to do his voice anymore. At any rate, each police officer has only one ID card. Both the police department and the prosecutor's office can attest to this. Please proceed with your testimony. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. Let it be noted that this is the record the witness referred to. Your throat will thank you. Absolutely. I mean, I'm drinking tea, but that would be it. Detective Goodman. According to this, Mr. Edgeworth, your name is on here. So it is, Your Honor. That prosecutor. He can hide all this. Being a prosecutor, he can hide the evidence. Mama, is that man in blue a murderer? Shh. Yes. It would seem the inquiry committee will want to speak with you again today. I have nothing to be ashamed of regarding my actions or their consequences. For now, let us continue with the cross-examination. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. It must be so difficult for him. At the time of the okay. Earlier, I believe, you testified that when you asked the man to show his ID card, he pulled a knife on you. Yes, sir. He didn't show me any ID card, sir. Don't you think that's odd? I mean, if he had his ID card, all he had to do was show it to you. There wouldn't be any reason to draw a knife. Maybe he just panicked. Well, I know one contradiction. Mr. Wright, what do you think? I'm confused. What? Well, something's up. First of all, I do want to show off Next we use this card. Well, I'm going to present the card.
Objection!
Wait one moment, Officer Meekins. Oh, I'm not good at waiting, sir. I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene. That makes sense. When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene, the underground parking lot of the prosecutor's office. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card. Lost item report. It's only half completed. But it shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report. Let me guess. You believe there's something to be his ID card, right? I can't say for sure. There's a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card. Order! Order! So now, what does this all mean? It can only mean one thing. It doesn't even require much thought. That's why I'm making this face. You know the face. I'm referring very, very specifically to this face. This face. This face right here. That face. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card. But that doesn't make any sense still. Because if the ID card was... What? Hold? Okay. I'm gonna let this run through. How could the ID card be there and also in the parking lot? Order! 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 Order me, Caviar. Does the prosecution have a response? I have only one thing to say to the defense. Bravo, Mr. Wright. Bravo. Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 p.m., on the day of the crime, the man in the evidence room Officer Meekins encountered was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright? Yes. That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is a fake, then the murder in the evidence room is also fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder. That is. Well, I guess that's right. Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago you seemed content to be pointing your finger around. This isn't going to end well. Oh well. It seems you finally realized exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove. Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth. The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is a fake, which means a murder did not take place at the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime. So what is your witness talking about? So the real crime can only take place at one location, the underground parking lot of the prosecutor's office. The murderer being Ms. Lana Skye, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness observed the moment the defendant used the murder weapon. Ah. The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered? Trustworthy? And where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman. Just so, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, you have to do something, or else Lana... How do I get myself out of this mess? I don't know. Whoops! Oh no, I didn't look at it! I'm gonna object. Oh darn it, I accidentally objected. Now I have to object to something. One moment, Your Honor. What now, Mr. Wright? Oh, great. I was looking at that and trying to press through conversation. Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven. Of course not. But I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap. What are you talking about? This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. It also didn't show anybody leaving. I accidentally objected. I did. However, it cannot be said that it is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor? If this court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared? I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand. Mr. Wright, do you mean... Your Honor? The defense would like to request a specific witness. Oh? Who do you have in mind? Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room. Prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply. Very well then, Mr. Wright, this person whom you would have testify. What is his or her name? Why, it's clearly... Ema Skye! No, I'm just kidding. Officer Jake Marshall. Why him? He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say. Prosecution agrees to the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. It's Bruce Scott. Wouldn't that be good? Suddenly he breaks in. I presented a profile. Yes, I did. Hello, wizard. Fortunately, he works in the police department. Yeah. I've seen that. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare. Okay. Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess while the witness is subpoenaed. Will prosecution please prepare the witness during this time? We will, Your Honor. The court is now in recess. Recess! I'm going on the jungle gym. There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright? Huh? What do you mean? You called for Jake Marshall. Seems you've figured everything out. Lana, you're the one who knows everything. Ema, you always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you. I don't recall ever asking for his protection. How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me? Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, gosh. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You've got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run all around while on duty. To top it off, you can call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Sorry, Detective. You better be, pal. Hey, I didn't see you there, Chief Prosecutor Sky. Hey. You recommend that I basically continue the game? Okay. That's okay. So, have you brought what I asked? Oh, baby. You mean this, right? My apologies, Detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request. My name? Never in a million years would I have thought it was you who asked me. Could I bother you to bring me the SL9 incident files? I'll need them by noon. Talk about crazy. The SL9 incident? But Lana, that's... I thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Here. You might do well to read them in this short amount of time. I can't believe you, the chief prosecutor, were a witness in that case. Miss Sky was a witness? The Joe Dark killings. Oh dear. Take it from me, you don't want anything to do with serial murders. Oh, what? Now that I brought you your stuff, you're just going to ignore me? Ema? But why? Why is your name in here? I'm the killer. What? My name's in there? I don't know. Unless... No, it couldn't be. Lana, this SL9 incident, is that... That's the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as the Joe Dark killings. The Joe Dark? No, Lana. That's over with. No! Ema, wait! Oh, you know what? I just remembered. I gotta be somewhere. I gotta go get a lunch from Angel Star. Cough up queen. Oh gosh. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. Everyone that I mentioned just now was a killer. Well, that's fine. I kind of expect that out of these cases at this point. This can't just be a coincidence. Knowing you, you just might be able to figure it out. Well, what if I check the big old stack? So let's see. Why don't I read about the incident? So, incident number 9, SL9. So, perpetrator Joe Dark, serial murder, sentence death. Okay. Victims. We got a bunch of victims. Head prosecutor. Witnesses. I'm ready for it. What is this? What does this look like? A credit roll? Executive producer, escape room. So, executive investigators. She's a witness and an investigator. Head investigator Bruce Goodman. Investigators Jake Marshall, Angel Starr. So all those people. I'm looking at this. I don't. Wait. That last name there. That last name. Yep. Got it. Okay. We'll keep that in mind. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. What does that tell me? That tells me that's a very common name in this wonderful utopia in which we live. Well, I took a look at your file. To be continued. Okay. Well, let's continue. Wizard, you gotta let me see stuff first. I'm sure I'm smart. I can figure things out. I didn't even need escape route's clue from earlier. I figured it out. I saw the light. The light went on up here because the light was on in the video. Alright. I'm gonna overwrite it just to be sure. Alright. Now. Now it's 12:14. Judge Old Man Draven has been playing in the yard. He's fine. We're back and we have no witness. The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. Oh, good. It would be, well, I know I'm going to take a break after this part of the trilogy. I am. And we'll throw a new game in there. I don't know. We'll throw, I don't know, Dragon Quest Builders. No, I'm just kidding. No, not that. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Me, partner? Oh, I'm just a man, same as you, wandering the trails of civilization. Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it. Oh, I know. You're a patrolman. As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind calling it out. Hey there, Christina. I'm not Judge Soy. I'm Defense Attorney Soy. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor. Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day the crime took place. Is this correct? According to the papers, partner. What do you mean? A desperado's soul is as boundless as the desert sands. I look like a judge? Well, thank you. No paper to sum it up. Maybe it's best we just get on with this quickly. Please share with us your testimony of the day of the crime. In plain old English. My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the room is protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at a street-side saloon at the time it went down. So you were drinking. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. What? So basically he admitted to be drinking on the job. Okay, well he's getting fired. Alright. I can't say I particularly care for your attitude. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Ooh, Old Man Draven! Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems? I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. If you look, he's drinking. Yes, he is drinking in the courtroom as well. Well, actually, right now he's trimming his beard hairs. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those. Yes, well, what about the fingerprint-activated locks on the evidence lockers? Fingerprint-activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are these? Yeah, he loves that flask. But that's purely apple juice. Of course. He's not that good with machines, or with following orders. Everyone's got their weaknesses now, don't they, Mr. Prosecutor? Mine's the sauce. This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours. You insult the beard, and the judge doesn't like you anymore. Good night, Sushi. So, Bone Orchard. How exactly did you keep an eye on the evidence room? I just made sure nothing moved in the security camera monitor. That room's so still, even time dies in there. I was just a caretaker who interred the recordings. You interred them? Videos of nothing aren't that useful. When the time would come, I'd erase the tape. If nothing unusual was recorded, tapes are to be erased every 6 hours. Then we save money on VHS tapes. Can't give all our money to Bass F. Each time I'd erase a tape, it felt like I was erasing a part of my life. So in actuality, you don't physically enter the evidence room. So you're supposed to be there 3 times a day. How's the weather? Gray. It's been gray all day with occasional rain and occasional sun trying to poke through. And a little toasty. But you made your rounds on the day of the crime, right? Ain't you heard a word I said, partner? I told you that ain't my style. I'm afraid I don't understand. No desperado I know lets rules get in his way. Well, if you want to be employed, you follow the rules. So, Officer Marshall, on the day of the crime, just between you and me, I didn't set foot in the evidence room that day. There was a rubber glove stuck in the victim's locker. Do you know anything about that? Sorry, partner, can't say I do. I haven't been in that crypt in weeks. Hey, Steph, how's it going? I was wondering if you would pop by for some Jake Marshall adventures. Violent rain. Violent rain. Okay, 2 security systems. You used to be a detective, so you've used the evidence room in the past, correct? Of course. Back in the day, my locker was a gold mine of evidence. You've been here! And yet, you didn't know about the fingerprint locking mechanism? Sorry, partner, I ain't good with machines. I couldn't even tell you how a bike works. That's how dopey I am. It's quite incredible. The sensors on the locker handles cannot be seen. It's well known that some detectives are unaware of their presence. I know it was raining in the morning, but I was having a rough sleep anyway, so... Crack of lightning. At any rate, it doesn't seem that this is relevant to the crime. Can you tell us what you were doing when the crime took place? He was at a saloon. He was boozing. What were you doing in a place like that? I was eating spaghetti. Oh, sure you are. Sure you were. Sure you were. You put spaghetti in your whiskey, don't you? Don't you, you sneaky partner? Not even Angel's steak lunches can beat that parlor's vongole sepia pasta. I hope she made lots of spaghetti. Do you mean to tell us you abandoned your police duties to eat some noodles? Not all desperados eat tacos, partner. Though they should. That's not what I meant. Hope this has at least taught you a lesson. You're not an innocent traveling man. Out of ammo, Officer Marshall. That's right, partner. Or as you'd call it, evidence. If you plan to pin me to this crime, then you'd better draw. Otherwise, you're just wasting my time. My steel horse is waiting to carry me back west into the sunset. Oh, I got evidence. 1, everything seems clear. Despite being responsible for guarding the evidence room, the witness doesn't appear to have seen anything. Texans don't take orders from anyone. Everyone knows that. You're not even a Texan! From Los Angeles. Okay, I have a trump card up my sleeve, so it best keep me cool. Up the ante. Oh, really? What do you mean, up the ante? What do I want to up the ante with? Do I just go right at it with the fingerprints? Maybe I should.
Objection!
Officer Marshall, doesn't this strike you as odd? That is, you being called in to testify like this? After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime. And yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner. It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. Or to be exact, a handprint. Huh? Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects. That is, make my rounds about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints would be in there.
Objection!
I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood. Witness, what's the meaning of this? Your blood-stained fingerprints were at the crime scene? The blood was wiped away. However, a luminol test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall? It seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders. I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall. About the blood-stained fingerprints? Very well, you may begin your testimony about your fingerprints, found at the scene of the crime. This ought to be good. I do this Texas ritual, you see, where we... Never mind. Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the blood-stained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? See? I had nothing to do with it. I wonder how awkward this Jake Marshall was in the interview. The witness's explanation appears valid, although there's room for doubt. Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. Well, let's see what we got. Let's see what we got here. That's because you, how did you put it? Pay your respects once a month? Yeah, that's right. That and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine. What? What do you mean? I mean what I said. That's the locker I used when I was a detective. The locker I still use. But you wouldn't have a locker if you were just a patrolman. All that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams. See, it'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker. Okay. Well, it just happened to be at the same place as the blood-stained handprint. So then, what about the bloody handprint? wasn't mine. It's no mystery. Please explain. My locker is covered with my fingerprints. Just so happened. Murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. Okay. The chances of that happening are 1,000,000 to 1. On the contrary, one could argue just the opposite. Chances of that not happening are 1,000,000 to 1. Get one thing straight, partner. You ain't gonna get no reward for me with a mere fingerprint. You wanna know why? Bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Are they? Unrelated? They're as different as night and day. Kinda like cereal and cereal. You know? Like serial murder? Like the SL9 incident? Neil Marshall? One's got to do with breakfast, while the other's a type of murder. Okay. He's right. Although seemingly alike, they're totally different. I don't see what homonyms have to do with this. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? How do you know that? I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the reports. Let me check the reports here. Let me check more reports then. Well, you know what? I'll deal with it later. There's a bloodstain at the scene, thought to be left by the murderer. Why is he allowed to bring a weapon into the court? Why is he allowed to bring a flask into the court? This is a very lax court. Wasn't D. Vasquez allowed to smoke too? Yeah. It's not the best courtroom. I blame Judge Old Man Draven directly. He's responsible. That's right, it was found on Detective Gumshoe's locker. However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint. Yeah, I think we tried that too. So that would mean Old Man Draven needs to get it together. Why is he able to skirt questions in the court? Because nobody's willing to, like, kick this guy in the butt. That would mean the murderer wearing gloves happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint. That's the only logical conclusion. Are you starting to get the picture, partner? The picture? This seal of blood. In the desert, it's just food for the buzzards. He should Pants the questions. Pants the questions. There's only one reality, and that's this. Security tape. So long as my trail isn't in there, you can't say otherwise. This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall. So, too bad it wasn't me in that video. Right, partner? Okay, let's see what happens. What do you mean by that? You want to tie me to this crime, isn't that right, partner? If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have. That video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots. Blind spots? Places you can't see. Camera's panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, they could leave the room without being caught on tape.
Objection!
Go to VCR. Where suits you when you need them? You have to use stuff. We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright. Well, Mr. Wright, if you can show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so now. Well, let's take a look. Very well. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall. Now, hopefully escape route's still here, just in case. Before I do that, well, let me take a looky. before I do that, I just want to look at this one more time. Victim, Neil Marshall. Investigator, Jake Marshall. That's all I want. That's all I want. Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake. You don't need my help. Oh, I don't know. Let's have another look at the video. Show us this incriminating evidence. Let's fast forward a little bit. Okay, there's no handprint there. Well, the handprint isn't on prove Marshall came in, basically. Prove Marshall came in. Fast forward. Well, it's gotta be something. Wait. Aha.
Take that!
Oh ho. What's that? Bringing our attention back to the security camera is a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall. Days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less? Very well. You can clearly be seen in the video. Well, that's... okay. Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner. The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video. That locker with the white cloth sticking out. That was the witnesses, I believe. Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. Well, I've noticed it now. I saw it when I came in to investigate, but... anyway. Oh, the white cloth. It's gone. What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall? When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's that creepy looking thing? It's me, it's Soy. Unless you're referring to the blue badger. The mascot of the Criminal Affairs Department. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away. Order! Order! Hold your horses. Sorry, partner. You got the wrong man. So what if my locker was opened? Doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it. The murderer needed to hide something, so he opened the locker and stuck it in. It's not my fault he happened to choose mine. Why's everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man? Because you're a wanted man. A Whopper? Well, that sounds pretty good. Oh, I wish I was eating one right now. But there's one problem. I'm not. This guy isn't just playing dumb. He really doesn't know. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker. Oh yeah? I'll call your bluff. You say I opened that locker? Now prove it. Well, of course.
Take that!
Pizza for dinner tonight? No. I had fries and a sandwich because I had pizza for lunch. I think I'll save the rest for tomorrow. Oh, fingerprint sensor. We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to. What kind of crazy talk is this? Now, there was at least one incident in the past year, as I recall. After discussion of Whoppers with Steph, I went out and got one at like 9 o'clock at night, but I don't think I'm gonna do that today. And Wizard wants a Whooper, which is something different. And Wizard, I don't think Burger King does that. Anyway. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks. You got two? Yeah, I got 2 Whoppers that night, and I just sat at the dinner table and I ate them, and they were delicious. So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less? Ooh. This jerky is good. Only got 1 word for you, partner. No! You know, I feel you because, Steph, I think you would do the same thing. Order, 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 order. You just eat them way too fast? I hear you. They are, like, addicting. Witness, explain yourself. If this is a joke, it's the worst I've ever heard. 2 Whoppers for $5? It cost me 8. I assure you this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime. Well then, Steph, I'll split one with you. We'll each have 1, and then we'll share 1. There you go. Now. Olay! What? What? Why did Judge Old Man Draven suddenly say Olay? My oil of Olay is in. Gotta keep this head skin supple. Alright. Olay. That's alright, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure the rest out from here. We can. Have a look at these floor plans. There's no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall. If that's so, then where was the witness? Seems Mr. Wright has an answer. That's right. The only possible conclusion... Draven's back. I think Draven... Ole for my spots. You notice he doesn't... He's an old man. He doesn't have any spots on his head. He's got a fine sheen there. Ooh, you could eat off that forehead. Where was Officer Marshall at the time of the crime? Ooh, now we're getting tough here. So, killer, victim. Now, riding the man in the... Okay. Well... I actually don't know. Well, if he was not the killer... Now, he might have been the killer. I don't know. Now, he would either be here... I will tell you if I want help. He could either be here, where the camera can't see, or he's the supposed killer. But I gotta pick one or the other. Now, he's excellent. He is excellent at... I mean, I guess he could be here. Take that. Officer Marshall was standing right here. So Officer Meekins didn't notice him standing there. It's almost as credible as Meekins' warp theory. Your chamber's empty, partner. Better reload. Alright, so I was wrong. That's fine. Perhaps you should think a little more about where Officer Marshall was. Well, I have another theory. I have one more theory. It's okay. Alright, well. I didn't want him to think that he was the killer, but alright, fine. He's the killer then. Let's make him the killer. Officer Marshall was standing right here. Well, I don't agree to that either. That's almost as correct. What? Okay, so that's failing. Well, I have one more thought. So he's not the killer. He's not standing in the corner. He would not have seen him if he was just like, I don't know, hiding around the corner maybe? I don't want to get this wrong though. I really don't want to get this wrong. So he wasn't here under the camera where he cannot be seen. He wasn't disguised right here as Bruce Goodman. So I figure he's somewhere over here. But I want to know if he's here? Do I want to phone a friend? Yes. Can't take a 50-50. He's somewhere over here. He wouldn't have seen him if he was like popping up over here somewhere. But Goodman wasn't the killer. Yeah, I think, yeah, I agree with you on that. But they are also saying that no. No, no, no. 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 Yes? Well.
Take that!
Officer Marshall was standing right here. There, but that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was. Correct. Unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in this video is Officer Marshall. I should have just picked up and called you. It was you dressed up like Detective Goodman.
Objection!
But that's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure.
Objection!
Maybe I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman. He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. When I entered the evidence room, I asked him to show his card, sir. Yes, and how did Detective Goodman respond? He suddenly pulled a knife on me. No, I would call you, and you'd be like, oh, I don't know. Maybe he was at a taco truck? No. Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had his ID card, why didn't he just show it? Yes, he would have needed it to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it. The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card. Oh, I get it. If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Fancy taco truck. Oh no, wait! He would have gone for spaghetti. Officer Meekins would have realized the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall? I love this beef jerky. It's so good. You've got quite an imagination, partner. Steph, you've got the soy metabolism. We got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence? You're gonna have to do better than that to break a detective. Unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim. I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim? Well, I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the one who couldn't take the desert heat. You have the soy metabolism. You eat so much, and you mean a lot. You only weigh 165. Metabolism hype. Thin fist bump. Right here. looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. You've run into a wall with no place to go. Return to the basics. The basics? For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me. Phoenix, try thinking outside the box. Elbow bump. There you go, you can have that. Shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise. But rather, I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise. What? Why do you think this locker was open in the first place? What do you mean? There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance it might be discovered later, as it has been. Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker. According to the defense's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the scene of the time of the crime. Best boy, best boy. Then after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason. The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he opened it in order to put the cloth inside. So, just what exactly is this piece of cloth? Do I actually have cloth? Why didn't... I don't know. We'll figure that out. Perhaps the video is the key to all our unanswered questions. Very well. Let's take yet another look at that darn security tape. After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker to put away the white cloth. Please show us why the witness had to open his locker. Well, my guess is the white cloth was meant to wipe off the fingerprints, wasn't it? Hello. That's a hard question to answer. This trilogy, I guess, came out on the Switch in like 2017 or something like that. So he darts under the camera. No, hold on. Oh, darn. I want to say it's because of that, the handprint. What's this music? Right track. Try rewinding to when he opened the locker. Okay, so if I pause, hold on. Let's hold on. So, well, first of all, he opens the locker. Well. The glove fell out, but I have the glove. Well, okay. The glove fell out of the locker. That's not new to me. That was a glove. I see where you're going with that, but unfortunately that was something different. Now, but hold up. I'm just gonna back it up a bit. I'm gonna back it up a lot, actually, to do a cool dance, and also Why would Goodman need to hide the outfit he was wearing? Because there was blood on it.
Take that!
Oh, shoot! Oh, I pressed the wrong button! Oh, dang it! Why? Oh, I pressed the wrong frickin' button! I didn't want that. I didn't mean to do that. Alright, let's try this again. Story of your clubhouse life. Oh, I'm so ticked. Well, the badger is evil. Alright, fine. Oh, just let me go back to it. Oh, wizard, don't scold me. I've done it enough. Alright, the music is back. Okay, so, hold on. So don't touch the X unless I really want to. Can we get back to the tape? Oh my gosh, this is taking a long time. Alright, so I'm going to fast forward to the point where we see his trench coat. So he opens the locker. Yeah, it's fine. So, hold on. How about this?
Take that!
For some reason, you disguised yourself as Detective Goodman and entered the evidence room, though I don't know to what end yet. Yet? However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, you know, the same knife that you've been using to graze your beard. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood. A bloody white coat? You couldn't just walk out like that. So you hid the coat in your locker. Hi, Janie. How's it going? Not bad, partner. Now then, Officer Marshall. Are you ready to tell us the truth? Looks like I underestimated y'all. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, if you were only half as persistent then as you are today, we all wouldn't have to be here now would we? I'm okay. I'm just, trying to solve a crime of some sort. Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it. All right. Seems the time has come. Confession. Oh, I like this. I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID, dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out and managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. Another murder mystery with a side of Whopper and taco convo. Typical Friday. So the supposed victim was really you. But there's one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be? Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. My guess is he's the donor. No attack. That's not right. And if that's what you're going to call me, I do not approve. There's way too much blood for such a small donation. All right, let's cross-examine here. Hey, the Moo, how's it going? They didn't do any type of blood testing. I don't think so. When you say it, you mean... Do you even have to ask, partner? Yes, I'm 9 incident, yes. No, not you, Soy. I got a waifu? I do? Where? You tell me. 2 years have passed since the case was closed. It was going to completely end with a transferal that day. Not if I have anything to do with it. That incident's not over. What did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room? When a case is closed, only that case's lead detective can look through the evidence. I want to have a look at it myself one more time. No matter what the cost. That case is mine. I know why he cares so much about it. We'll get to there. Live action Ace Attorney movie. What? That's crazy. Last day, oh, that day was my last chance. That's why I stole the identity and dressed like him. Okay. Why'd you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman? If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transferal, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere. Yeah. Because Goodman was, as I recall, Goodman was the head investigator. Yeah, okay. Story checks out. Can you yell objection at random points? No, but you can. So you did it to fool the security camera. And the detective's ID card? I stole that the morning of the incident. Okay, so that's order in the court. You've done it. I can't do a Steph impression, so your text is going to have to do. I returned his ID card. I left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot. Oh, great. Planting evidence. So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight. What do you mean, partner? I mean, the fingerprint-activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Does anyone need to buy a genuine graceful painting? I do. Me first, me first. I said it first. And if somebody else tries to take it, I will totally chop their trees. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open that locker yourself. Oh gosh. You wouldn't. I know I wouldn't, but I still want the painting now. However, it'll have to wait until after the stream. Tim Sweeney. You pulled a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off? Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. Darn it, Wizard. You need Pepto. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time. Officer Meekins certainly is a one-in-a-million type of person. Mistaking a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID. I'll have to think a little more about his raise next year. Or this year. Anyway, he threw himself at me and I ended up cutting him slightly. I'm sorry it had to turn out that way. With me knocking him out and everything. By the way, what happened to your knife? Oh, you mean this one? He still has the knife. He still has the knife. Alka-Seltzer? Well, plop, plop, fizz, fizz. Oh, what a relief it is. So you knocked Officer Meekins out and managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera. Isn't Alka-Seltzer just a horrible flavor? Oh my gosh. So you did your research beforehand. Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I didn't think it would make a difference, though. Security tape is erased every 6 hours. If all had gone as planned, no footage would have been left. However, you bloodied your coat in your struggle with Officer Meekins. If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there. So basically, you take a disc of Alka-Seltzer, you drop it in water, and it totally, like, fizzes up, so you get like a fizzy, you get a fizzy drink out of there that is supposed to settle your stomach. Well, Janny, I want it. How do we settle this? It's an effervescent painkiller. There, that's the word. What else? He was sleeping like a baby. So what you're saying is, on that day, I'm not gonna get that pain. But the blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place. What are you, blind? The victim shown on that tape is me, and I'm not dead yet, partner. So you stole the evidence from the locker. Actually, no I didn't. Why not? When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone. Well, maybe. See, maybe. I might. That could be the soy way. I don't know. What, Mr. Edgeworth? Where's that evidence? It's still missing, Your Honor. So the locker was already empty, save for a vase and a glove that fell in. Someone else stole the evidence. Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing? Fire away, partner. It's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer. Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID, injuring a police officer? This is no small offense. Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. Your raise will not happen. You can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary. That's the answer. Like I said, this isn't your case. This one is mine. Yeah, I know. I dig them up and make money off them, I guess. And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with. The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more. I can't just forget the SL9 incident. You know why? Well, yeah, I know why. Hey, Johnny, how's it going? They say... Igiari. Cool. Well, that case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it? That's the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room. Joe Dark was convicted for his crimes. One thing I can say for sure is he deserved his sentence. I don't suppose I could do that in this. That would be interesting. I don't actually know if I could play this out in Japanese. Oh, gosh. That's cool. I remember the Joe Dark case. It involved serial murderers, didn't it? I don't intend to complain about how it turned out, but there's something that still bothers me. Something went down at that trial, something no one will talk about. What happened? I don't know. That's what I'm trying to find out. Why is he so concerned with that incident? Oh, I know why. Yeah, I know why. Yeah, I know why. I know exactly why. Let's get there. Uh-oh. Steph knows. I can't just forget the SL9 incident. You know why? I know why. Now hold on. I just have to check and make sure. I believe it's page 2. I think it's page 2. Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident. Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner. Did we ever look into the CSI game? You mean the Law and Order game? I did look into it, and that was the one that I could get a code for over $400, and I'm not willing to pay that. Now there are CSI games, but I'll look into that someday. The name Marshall is mentioned in here, in a list of murder victims. Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man? Neil Marshall? Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the name. 2 years ago, he received the same lousy prosecutor award you got. What? A prosecutor? Good night, escape route. Well then, Janny, you should have been able to solve this case long ago. Now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did. That's right. He was killed. And the case fell into your hands. Well, what's his relation to you? He was my brother. Kind of looked like me. He was investigating the murders with Damon Gaines, the then duty chief of police. The group of detectives I was part of worked under them. We were desperate to prosecute the killer. Joe Dark. My brother fought Dark and was killed. That was the first time Dark left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed. At least according to the public records. What do you mean? My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight. And that's it? That's your reason for your insane actions? There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me. Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime. That was the last day the SL9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with its resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence. Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled. Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. The things that happen by chance never cease to amaze. At exactly the same time as the murder at the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on at the police department. So if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murder in the prosecutor's office parking lot was the real one. Which in turn means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye.
Objection!
But wait, a verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial.
Objection!
Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today. But there's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department. Seems to me, this boy's got the draw on you, partner. All the mysteries at the police department have been resolved. No doubt about it. Order this knife-wielding court. Our sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Skye. And the testimony of one Miss Angel Starr is completely incontestable. If you have a response, make it a single word or less. I rest my case. It seems this trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt. Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time disproving the alleged murder at the police department. There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera's tape really was fake. I didn't realize. I don't know, apparently I do. And if I do, I'd like to know more about it. Now then, the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant... Hold it! Your Honor, wait! Ema! The defense has an objection. I've never met her, Steph. What's going on? The defense has an objection. A scientific objection. Right? What do you mean, right? Mr. Wright. Are you this girl's guardian? Your Honor? Oh, in a sense. Please, Your Honor. All I'm asking is for a minute of your time. It's true. That wasn't me, Steph, I swear. Please hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please. I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll give you 3. I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dart killings. Yeah, they were witnesses. And Lana was also an executive investigator. But that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I knew his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing. The other handprint. You mean the traces of blood found on Detective Gumshoe's locker? But no fingerprints were found on it, right? No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So I ran over there and looked at it again. I put on these cute glasses, too. So did you find something? No. Thanks a lot, you doofus. Huh? Sorry, I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all. Why did you come here and interrupt? Is that all? Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student. But Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. If we can't find something wrong with them. Please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you. Me? Oh boy. What? Wow, you're thinking in advance. Also, now I know a birthday card is coming. Oh boy. Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright, with regard to the incident at the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain? It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. It was the most amazing card. Yay! Yay, amazing! Looking at the floor plans, a fingerprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this? Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I can't be of more use. But still, if you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, Lana will be... Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day. Yes, Your Honor. Well, here's the thing. It would be harder to put a handprint on that locker with the camera being around. Could there be something I'm missing? Maybe. Well, let's object anyway. This handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction. The only thing that seems clear is you're grasping, Mr. Wright. You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them? Take a good look at these floor plans. I don't know who you're talking to, Danny, but that's... Oh. You know what? It's cool. Double up in 2021. Something is missing. Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn on there? Yeah, something that, when drawn, completely changed the meaning of the blood mark. What are you talking about? I have no clue. That is convenient. Let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright. There's gotta be something I can use. The question is, which item can prove something is missing in the floor plans? This. So there's that. Is that blood? But there was no cracked vase. Hold on. I put it together. It should be important.
Take that!
As they say back west, even a blind man can hit with buckshot. That is, so long as he's facing the general direction. Seems Mr. Wright's not sure which direction to face. Just calm down, Mr. Wright. Try and remember what the evidence room was like on the day of the crime. Why are you asking how old everybody is? What is it that bothers me about this blood mark? Please allow me another chance, Your Honor. I'll prove it this time. Okay. So what am I missing? Which item can prove something is missing in the floor plans? Don't know. Well, I think Wizard's pretty young. I don't know. I don't know. Well, let's see. Well, if Wizard is still here, he can help me out, but maybe he's having stomach problems. It's hard to miss what wasn't on the floor plans. Oh, on the contrary. It's easy to miss. I mean, it's this, but... What about that piece of plywood? By ESR. The Blue Badger, mascot of the police force. Defender of truth, guardian of proof. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The Blue Badger is not there. So watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. Well? Well? What? I have no clue. That's right. So long as the Blue Badger is dancing here, it would be impossible to place a handprint at this spot on the locker. Oh. What? So that means, just what exactly does that mean? I don't even know. It means it can't be done. What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found on that locker. Don't look at me, I didn't put it there. Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically. Ema, on that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought the Blue Badger to the evidence room, right? After he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker. It was left there before the Blue Badger was brought in. Huh? Just one moment. I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom. Balderdash! Old man Draven using those big words there. It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once, but twice! Well, there may be people who don't want to give out that information. It's okay. One time was captured on this tape taken by the security camera. Young man Draven. Officer Meekins cut his hand, for which a trivial amount of blood fell. Objection to Soy! Me! What'd I do? I'm just an innocent streamer. The problem is the other time. Someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered. What? Hold on. Objection! That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claim. The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be a fake. However, it does not explain the blood mark found on the locker. So then, assuming this murder you purport really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proves when it occurred. When did the first incident occur? Wait. I have something. Check this. I don't even know. I don't know. But what is this 420 thing? Well, nobody has all sevens. I know when. It was at 420. To summarize, the defense claims that prior to Officer Meekins being cut by Jake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in that evidence room. That's right, the blood mark on the locker proves this. Very well, then tell us. When did this first incident occur? As Mr. Edgeworth said, proof must be presented. Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that can show that. Now then, will the defense please present its evidence? What shows when the first crime took place? Well, let me tell you. I want to check this first of all. No, it's not that, but I just want to look at that. See, well, if she's young and in her prime, then I must be young and in my prime too. Ah, interesting. Very nice. I like that. If the crime took place inside the evidence room, guess it's all downhill for you, Steph. Then the killer would have had to enter it. And in order to do so, an ID card would have been required. An ID card. Oh! The ID card record. Steph, unless you're a time traveler and went back 6... No, that doesn't even work. +6. But who's counting? I am now. Since you're trying to insult me, I'm just gonna be like rubber, and you can be glue. All the ageist comments you say to me bounce off me and bounce back to you. Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room at, let's see here, 4:50 p.m. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be 4:40 p.m. Miles Edgeworth. I never would have figured you had the nerve, boy. Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me. Nope, I ain't getting it. I'm afraid I don't understand either. It's clear from the luminol test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood. That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer. I would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible. That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room. Let's look at the chart again. There's only one other card number remaining. All 7s. Talk about a lucky number. But wait, that doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room? Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 7 7s. Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this ASAP. Find out whose ID number is 777777. I think there's one too many sevens in there. It's 1 7 too many, Your Honor. Okay. Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of that ID card. At least at present. What? Explain yourself, son. The ID number belongs to someone with a rank of captain or higher. Someone who is a so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity.
Objection!
But that's ridiculous. Just how? I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There's one situation in which we can be granted such authority. If an official charge filed against an executive is accepted. An official charge? You're all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor's office operates. Didn't you do that?
Objection!
I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate it if you would keep your slander to yourself. Slander, is it? Okay, let me ask a question. Yes? No, not to you. To her, the defendant, sitting over there. Your own little executive. Lana?
Objection!
Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course, we've looked up her ID number, and it's not all those sevens. Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I want to ask. All I want to know is one thing about that incident. The SL9 incident? Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence? Do you need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor? I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At the time, occasionally, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least, I did. Lana, I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. Before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law. Defendant, just what are you saying? I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial, 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and say that you did? Chief Prosecutor, you didn't! I don't have to, Officer Marshall. Why won't you answer him? Drastic crimes require drastic measures. It's just the way it is. We did what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. But Lana, even if it involved forging evidence, guilty! See? That's what I'm talking about. No. No! Order! 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 Lana's remarks caused such a stir. The chaos in the courtroom could not be quelled. The conclusion of the trial would have to wait until the following stream. Ho ho ho. Ho ho ho. Evidence forgery! Well, I must say, I'm not surprised in the slightest, actually. Oh, we got another investigation, and then another trial. Ham on rye. There you go. Okay. Well, we're going to continue this on Monday. Soy in order. I may require 2 streams. I'm not sure. But anyhow, that's it for tonight. Thank you very much for watching. This has been so heart-wrenching. I have been SoyBomb. I am only 21, and I will see you next time on SoyBomb Live. Take care.